USA porn appetite concentrates again on the Bible Belt states. Yeah. Moral authoritarian busybodies have the most skeletons in their closet. Well, who would have thunk? Who'd have thunk it, man? Who'd have thunk it? It's almost as if they're projecting, isn't it? So, the original study, published in the journal Archives of Sexual Behavior in current year -4, was produced by researchers from Canadian universities and found that American states with more religious conservatives are the ones that search more for sexual content on Google. That's probably just because they're a bunch of fucking boomers and they don't know that you don't search for porn on Google. Like, there's websites you go to for that. The following is an excerpt from the study's abstract. In America, religiosity and conservatism are generally associated with opposition to non-traditional sexual behavior, but prominent political scandals and recent research suggest a paradoxical private attraction to sexual content on the political and religious right. Yeah, just like all these male feminists that love to abuse women, all these anti-lolly crusaders that end up being actual child abusers. Yeah, it's almost as if this is a fucking pattern. That the harder someone virtue signals, the more of a piece of shit they are. Someone's been saying that for years, but I don't know who. Yeah, they must have really known what they were talking about, though. We examined associations between state-level religiosity and conservatism and the anonymized interest in searching for sexual content online using Google Trends, which calculates within state search volumes of search terms. Across 2 separate years, controlling for demographic variables, we observed moderate to large positive associations between greater proportions of state-level religiosity and general web search for sexual content, and 2, greater proportions of state-level conservatism and image-specific search for sex. This new study, researchers used Google Trends to analyze porn searches while linking state-level information from polls asking about religious political attitudes together with a variety of sex and porn-related search terms. Statistics aren't a surprise. On the Daily Beast article from current year -2, Christian right-wingers love porn. New studies suggest the Bible Belt has a kinky side. Homegrown Video announced the results of a 6-month study on amateur porn demographics. Just under a third of all homemade sex tape submissions were created in the U.S. Bible Belt. Yeah, so before all of this was common knowledge, we actually had another metric we used, and that's the number of preachers' daughters that grew up to be complete whores. Because you take these girls and you try to shelter them from the real world and sex, from until they're out on their own, and then they discover what it is and can't get enough of it. Maybe if you introduced it to them slowly over time, like just let them know what it is, like the sex ed class in high school even. Maybe they wouldn't have turned out that bad. Like, maybe don't flip your shit when you catch her using a dildo, or you find a dildo in her mattress or whatever. But no, they did their best to, little Sally had no clue that what sex even was until she got out into the real world, and now she can't get enough of it. Pharrell Timlake, the owner of Homegrown Video, an amateur pornographic video production company based in San Diego and established in 1982, explained that women are now submitting their own videos almost as much as men. Remember, these are not porn stars, just regular people who film themselves for the world to see. Oh, they're porn stars now! They're porn stars now! Yeah, well, that's right. See, that's a good point. Desensitize your kid, basically. Yeah. Now, funny enough, that's how Japan does it. Like, look at how easy access anyone has to any type of sexual content in Japan. And apparently, there's a lot more virgins in Japan than in the U.S. And that's because they're desensitized to it. They see it everywhere. It's nothing that special to them. I could just hear Pop saying, "More cock!" Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Bible Black Belt. That was a good hentai. Yeah. Classic old school hentai right there. Yeah, that's why I say church girls are worse than sorority slurs. You got rice on your face. Good one. Yeah, perhaps even more interesting is the type of user-generated content coming from areas of the country as some consider repressed. We get so many interracial tapes from states that people would stereotype as being racially bigoted areas. Well, remember, every time an SJW calls something racially bigoted, they're projecting. So, I mean, they are like the biggest racial bigots I've ever seen in my life, but they always accuse everyone else of it. Yeah, in addition to the homegrown video study, numbers released last spring by Pornhub, one of the world's largest porn sites, indicated that people in the Bible Belt watch more gay porn than anywhere else in the United States. Oh man, I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's right. No, they're going to the Pray the Gay Away church camp, and then they come home and beat it to gay porn while sitting on a dildo, I bet too. Oh, this does not surprise me. Again, what a virtue signaler is most hung up on is most likely what they themselves partake in. No exceptions. Every single fucking time this happens to be the case. The name Bible Belt has been applied historically to the South and parts of the Midwest, but is more commonly identified with the South. It consists of the line crossing various states such as Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia. I think I got them all, yeah. The states with the highest percentage of gay views is in the South. According to the numbers, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Georgia lead the South in gay porn consumption, and the state with the highest percentage of gay porn viewers in the nation is Mississippi. Mississippi, the champion of gay porn. Congratulations, you get the golden dildo. We gotta actually make that a thing. Just send the governor a golden dildo to congratulate him. Mm-hmm. In a new study, the researchers offer the paradoxical hypothesis that the greater preponderance of right-leaning ideologies is associated with greater preoccupation with sexual content and private internet activity. Other reports conducted by research companies indicate similar findings concerning the Bible Belt's apparent voracious appetite for pornography. Yeah, because going back to what I just said earlier, everyone else is desensitized to it. If you see it everywhere, it's not going to be any big deal to you. But if you're living in a society that's constantly repressing everything, then fuck yeah, every time you get home, you're going to want to see some titties or some dick in the case of these Southerners. Yeah, at the end of the day, we can only speculate as to why there is such a strong connection between consumption of porn and professed conservative Christian values. Yeah, I already, no, you don't have to guess. I'll tell you what it is. Virtue signalers projecting. That's what it is. Every time. Every fucking time. Do not trust a virtue signaler.